And getting there has proven to be nearly impossible on major roadways. Even though some of the ice is starting to melt out, we still have enough slick spots to create havoc on the roadways, especially as you can see in Dallas County. Driving on I-30, for example, from Rockwall County in the westbound direction, a series of crashes between Rose Hill and Broadway Beltline, and still just a single file line can slide through that area. One positive thing to note is the eastbound flow in this area. All earlier troubles, several of them have all cleared out and speeds have returned back to a more normal rate. Normal right now, by the way, because of the conditions, you don't need to go faster than 40, 45 miles an hour. 635 LBJ is still miserable moving in the westbound direction. We've had a closure since right after 2 a.m. because of a fatal crash involving an 18-wheeler and another vehicle that flipped. And trying to get this cleared out has proven to be quite difficult. And to make matters worse for westbound travelers from Garland and Mesquite, there's another crash up ahead close to the TI Boulevard interchange where you have limited access moving through that area. Folks trying to move on 75 Central southbound past the interchange at Walnut Hill, experiencing a very difficult drive because of a jackknifed 18-wheeler. See that there briefly in that area, and heavy-duty wreckers are doing their best to try to clear that out. Northbound traffic on I-35E. The mess trying to get across the Trinity River Bridge is as follows. You have a rig hauling a tandem trailer, several other 18-wheelers involved in an incident here at the start. Everything up ahead in the transition to go to I-30 has actually just started to clear out, and folks are beginning to move. You can see that on the right edge of your shot out to the west and trying to move from the Grand Prairie area over into Duncanville. A reminder, just before you get to Highway 67, still remnants of a wreck in that area. I-30 moving in the westbound direction is exponentially worse. We've had a lot of 18-wheelers involved in crashes in this area. And you can see that even though you have 2 lanes open, left and right shoulders respectively, it's still a multi-mile backup through that location. Moving west on I-30, that marker you see in the left-hand corner of your screen in Grand Prairie, still have trouble at the George Bush Turnpike interchange, and westbound 183 traffic cleaning up an 18-wheeler crash there has proven to be very difficult. Very different over in Tarrant County. Don't have a lot of incidents to be concerned about on the roadways. But with that said, can you go 65? No, don't do it. You'll end up being the next person I talk about.
Yes, no, don't do that. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, drivers who have been fortunate enough to actually avoid crashes today, and you can see some of the video there. Some of them have been sitting in their cars for 2 hours.
Shannon live at Central Expressway and President George Bush Turnpike with a look at the Friday morning misery. I mean, it looks like it's moving behind you, but you find one spot and that's it. You're going to sit.
Right, so it's moving, but very slowly. I'm going to have our photographer, Larry, push in a little bit. You see these bridges and overpasses. This is what we've been saying all week. This is what you hear Chip saying all morning. These are the trouble spots. This is where it can get slick, these elevated roadways, especially right here where you have these interchanges where it's just roads on top of roads. So all morning we've seen people just moving very cautiously. When we pulled up here earlier, I pulled up the traffic map and it was just all red. I didn't see any accidents. There were no crashes in the area. It was just all of the cars, all of the traffic, just people going extremely slow trying to get across these overpasses. So where we are right now is technically Richardson. Just on the other side there is Plano. I did talk to Plano police this morning. They said, hey, the roads should be okay. We've got everything taken care of. We've had a couple minor incidents, but just overall, we're telling everyone, be careful on the bridges and overpasses, just like I was saying right here. And Lauren, I know that this morning you were saying you took the toll road and it was all good. We took that same route because we knew that was the only area that would be clear. So we took the toll road straight up to Plano Parkway and then came back down and around and kind of took some side streets to get right here. So your route could take some maneuvering. You may have to get creative, take some side streets or the frontage roads if you can to get where you need to be. But just trying to avoid these things right here, behind, like what you see behind us, because that can be kind of scary when you're that high up and you're in traffic and it could be slick. You may hit black ice. I mean, we were traveling extremely slow, even on the toll road, just because you never know. You want to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, it took Brandon like double your commute time this morning.
Yeah, I usually have a 30-minute commute. It took me an hour. I ended up getting downtown where they have all the flyovers that Shannon was just talking about.
Yeah.
I had to take one that I don't normally take that doesn't get me where I need to go. It was the only one open.
And
it was
Shannon,
the only one that didn't have 18-wheelers stacked up.
I think, like the tollway, that's the only road we've seen all morning long that has remained green on Chip's maps.
Right. It was totally clear. I mean, even my own commute this morning, I live 5 to 10 minutes from the station, and on Woodall Rogers, I hit a couple slick spots, started fishtailing. I was going extremely slow. Thankfully, there were no other vehicles on the road at that time, but it was kind of scary. So definitely stay home if you can, or just figure out some alternate routes if you have to take one of those major roads. I know that Chip has been following just crash after crash after crash. Just the entire map is red when you pull it up. So it's not fun.
Thankfully, the sun is out. Just wait a couple hours. It's going to get warm enough. The ice is going to melt.
I'm loving the sunshine.
I know. Thank goodness. Thanks, Shannon.
Well, slick roads may have played a role in 2 deadly crashes overnight in Fort Worth. A driver who crashed into a disabled vehicle at Highway 360 and Highway 183 died just before midnight. About 40 minutes before that, a driver died after crashing into a disabled vehicle that was in the process of being moved off of the road near Highway 287 and East Berry Street. In Garland, one person was killed overnight in a crash involving an 18-wheeler at 635 LBJ and Jupiter Road.